What is happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the Intermediate Division match between the Bench and MI6. I will be your streamer slash lobby host slash colorcaster tonight, Acronator. Also the production, and I hope you all know me by this point. I'm joined by the play-by-play Joe Razor.
Hello.
And we're going to be hopping straight into this game, more or less.
Yeah. The Bench and MI6 here tonight. MI6 not having the best start to the season. Haven't won a map, sadly. They're looking to get their first not only match victory, but also map victory, which is going to be a tough task because MI6 has had a very good start to the season, starting 2-1 here, and their only loss being a 3-2 loss, if I'm not... no, it was a 3-0. I am not smart. To Mob Mentality, who most people would say is the best team in Intermediate. So it's been a fairly good start to the season here for MI6. So let's see if they can keep this up here this week against the Bench.
Yeah, certainly. Of course, Bench, like you said, looking for their first real win. They've had some unfortunate losses, but they've slowly been bringing it back together. I believe recently they lost Slimal to Kingdom Come up in Advanced. A bit of an odd trade there, but did force them to play around with their support lineup, whereas MI6 have mostly been running with this. But we do have a pause already coming in for MI6. Interesting.
Always a good sign when you start the game with a pause.
But man, they... In fact, ready?
Maybe just a ping spike or a Discord issue, not too sure.
Just checking if the Bench is ready, and then we can actually get into this.
Lijiang here will be our first map. We'll be starting on Night Market. I wonder if we're going to see any Pharah play. Most likely we'll see some Symmetra here on Night Market.
Yeah, it looks like both teams will be running with mostly similar compositions. I say that, of course, with MI6 possibly running out on this double shield. The swap to the BAP makes me think it's more than possible that the double shield here, the Orisa, is actually quite viable, surprisingly enough. So should be interesting to see if they can get the value they want out of it. Teleport's coming out at about the same time, ensuring that the fight breaks out on point.
Yeah, on the point now. Both teams here rocking this Reinhardt. The Immortality is going to be forced out early here.
Oh no!
Up. His health bar drops to 0, and the rest of the Bench are soon to follow. Very decisive fight win there.
Yeah, that was pretty quick in all honesty. I thought it might have actually gone in the Bench's favor briefly, because it looked like MI6 were taking more damage, but if you look at the health bars, they were all going down relatively evenly, and you really want just like one person to be dying at one point in time, so the health bar just jumps down. Lack of target
when that
focus.
happens, it's usually not the best sign here. Bench are looking to get a nice recontest here. No ults really for either side. There's going to be the sim wall here for Sergeant Pepper. It's just immediately just taken out of the fight. They lose their main source of heals here, but they're going to push forward now. They're going to lose
everyone,
basically the entire team, as they can't even get into a fight without having a big player lost.
I'd like to point out that MI6 are winning these fights so quickly now that really only Sergeant Pepper has his ult, now Hamtaro obviously with the BAP, but they haven't even had a chance to build up their ultimates, despite the fact that they've been winning these fights so heavy-handedly. Empty Grid is still on this Symmetra, interestingly enough.
Yeah, it's very hard to come back into the fight here. Matrix gets dropped soon as the Shatter here, as everybody is falling. The Reinhardt going down early opens up the Bench to a huge Shatter, and that's another very fast fight win for MI6.
I'm still surprised, like, I guess Empty Grid has the ultimate, but I mean, like, the sim wall isn't really going to help you that much anymore, you know? It's probably time to swap to, like, a Sombra or something. Whereas Sergeant Pepper, he's already established on the point as Symmetra, and he's going to have a much easier time. Looks like they're going to be engaging here with the wall. At least they want to.
Yeah, it looks like they want to try to throw. That's a very nice wall there. The Shadow's going to get dropped. It's also it hits 4 players, but the beat's there to keep almost everybody out. Hamarto gets taken down for the. However, Jolts is going to go down, but the Blossom on point doesn't really find any kills, and the bench finally win a fight here, as the point's going to tick up to almost 99%.
Look how many ults they had to use there, though. They used, what, 4 or 5? I think they used Shatter at the beginning, right?
Yeah, they use Shadow.
Yeah, so they just happened to build up close to another one, but that's like 4 ultimates for a singular fight win, and it's already 1-fight territory. MI6 already.
And he's gonna go over to the Hanzo here as they want to try to recontest. Jim Pepper's just gonna get blown up. The beat's gonna get dropped for the bench as they're gonna push forward here with a player disadvantage, but it's not gonna matter as Hemtaro goes down, and the rest of the team is soon to follow here. And something that's very interesting is they switched off the sim after they got control at the point.
Yeah, right. You'd think it would be the opposite, but good there to see that MI6 just kind of rushed that a little bit too much. You know, it didn't look like everyone was together and ready to take the TP, and that kind of showed when they got staggered and fed into
Sergeant Pepper just loses his head there from a shot from the Hanzo. Taken out of the fight before it even begins.
Actually liking this aggressive hold from the bench here. They kind of have to because Sergeant Pepper obviously is still on the sim. I'm pretty sure they're keeping track of that. Of course, Pivot does have a Shatter here, so I wouldn't be shocked to see him try it.
The Shatter's gonna hit the sim wall, so actually massive value out of it. The Shatter from Jolts and Bolts doesn't hit anybody as he's gonna fall to Silver's Coalescence. They trade out onto the Lucio as the beat's gonna get dropped from Gag. They're forced back now as Cease is going to teleport out, and Empty Grin just gets left out to die here on the Hanzo. Just all alone as the grab's going to get dropped. It's going to hit 2 people, but the counter grab's going to come out from Remy. The 2 players are going to fall down for MI6 here. Jolts with a bit of a questionable pin, and the bench look like they may have come back from 96% to take the first point here.
There's no
Gag's
way.
going to get the touch on the point, however. The Wrecking Ball's going to be returning, which is Remy. On the point now, Sergeant Pepper's going to go down to a first strike. The Coalescence comes out as the Blossom is dropped on point from 10. He gets 2 kills. This could be turnable now. He gets 3 kills here. He's turning the fight for his team. MI6 are going to win the point. Well, not quite. 96%. Is anybody going to be able to get back to the bench?
Are you kidding me? I don't think they are. That was a team kill.
Oh my word. He turns it with the 4K.
That was just sloppy from everyone, oh my word. Like, MI6, it felt like they got a little bit too complacent there and just weren't grouping up. They were allowing for early staggers, taking their time, and it eventually led to them being in 1-fight territory and about to lose if it weren't for Sen, or T-Sen, I guess he wants to be called. Getting, what was that, a 4K, 5K?
Yeah, he got the 3K with the Blossom, then he followed up, onto the Zarya there to clean up the fight. What a play.
Just single-handedly decided, okay guys, let's stop throwing for a moment. Make sure we don't lose this. Sure enough, they do swap over to the dive though. That will be the more common composition we're going to see here. Sombra, no less. Metra can work here, but I wouldn't expect to see it very much.
Yeah, so we're gonna have we're gonna have actually mirrored comps here. Remy's gonna get hacked up early on. The Winston bubble's gonna get popped early, as they're just kind of poking and prodding around the corner. T-Sen's gonna get hacked up, but he's not gonna fall. The Winston bubble gets thrown out from both sides. No kills yet, but T-Sen and Jolts are both very low there on the side of MI6. The Coalescence is already out from
Hemtaro.
Ooh, that was rough. Coalescence comes out from Silver now, as the Primal Rage on point for Pivot. Ults are coming out from both sides now very early on here, as nobody's fallen for either side yet. They build up a beat before anybody dies. An EMP! The ults are coming out for both sides, as T-Sen's the only one to fall so far. Remy is going to get demeched. Cease is going to drop Blossom and get the 4K. What a play from Cease there. That was a very long fight.
What was that fight? Like 4 ultimates came out there before the point even flipped. That was odd. Neither of these teams have good target focus right now. I'm not sure what this is, but then again, I've
There's
noticed...
7 ults came out that fight.
Jesus. Although I have noticed that MI6 tends to, like, slowly ramp up over the course of a series. Oh, no.
Oh, the EMP bomb's not going to result in any kills initially, but Sgt. Pepper is going to go down. Gag had to beat there trying to keep everyone up. Pivot falls, however. Followed by T-Sen. The bomb in the middle of nowhere is not going to find any kills. Looks like it was just to Remac. The Coalescence is going to come out from Silver, and he's going to take down one player, and the Tanks are just going to jump off. And that's another fight win there for the bench.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but the bench is actually looking pretty solid right now. Like, it's sloppy, but it's less sloppy than MI6, and that's really what's going to be the defining factor in these fights.
I'm more surprised about how poorly MI6 are playing.
I know, right? They've played so well. I think, like I said, they just need to ramp up. Maybe they didn't get a good warm-up or whatever, because I've seen them play better. Yeah,
both of their wins, however, have been 3-2s, and I don't think they've actually won a control map. Somebody is the Coalescence and the Blossomer to come out. T-Sen's gonna fall. As Pivot's gonna pop the Primal here, and he's gonna manage to knock Gag off the edge, and the bench are gonna get another fight win in last fight territory. And by control, I meant first map of the series, because obviously, if you win in 5, you have to win the last. You have to win a control.
Interestingly enough, Sen has actually died first in the last, like, 2 fights, I think it was. Might have even been the 3rd. And he's had his ultimate for, I believe, the last 2 fights, or he's close to it the previous fight. So he's sort of been dying in these awkward scenarios where he needs to be staying alive. You have the EMP coming in, though.
Yeah, but they're going to manage to dodge it to get the sound barrier off. T-Sen's going to drop the Blossom. No kills immediately result from it, but Pivot does go down to Gag. The bombs are going to come out from both sides. The EMP comes through and allows Gag to fall. Sgt. Pepper is soon to follow as Cease gets a nice kill onto him. Webby's going to get demeched as they're going to pop the Coalescence out, try to push everybody off point and get the flip here. 99% now. T-Sen's going to fall to Cease, which is a huge kill. And it looks like the bench might take the second point here. With Remy and Jolted Bolts falling, that looks like it's going to be it. It's just a bit of stall now from Gag. And that's going to be it. Oh, nope. I need to stop saying that. Sgt. Pepper gets a tag. But that's going to be it.
What
second
was
point's
this
going to go in the bench.
What is this map? I don't understand. This is so confusing. Sen finally got to use his Death Blossom, but it was just completely negated because they did nothing about Seriator, who's been doing a pretty good job of shutting down MI6's DPS and not allowing them to get any value. Of course, now that we're on Control Center and Zarya, it's going to be a lot harder to do so. Interesting potential DPS picks coming out here. The Junkrat's just standard at this point, but the other DPS, it can be swapped. You know, I've seen McCree work here despite him not being good in the meta. I've seen the Reaper, obviously, Symmetra, seen things like Hanzo, so it really depends on if Empty's going to stick on this or just be a quick swap. No, it looks like he's sticking on it for now.
Okay. So Empty's going to stay on the Symmetra. They're both going to be running the Junkrat, though, so nearly mirrored comps. In this like fight here where they're taking it, the Junkrat's probably going to get more value there, as the Junkrats are the only ones to get kills, besides that random T-Sid kill, but he was like an Eon away, so like did 8 damage to him. As that's a very fast fight win. Or they're going to get a recontester due to the fact that they do have the Symmetra, but they're just going to get booped off. Nice boop there to keep everybody away. They're going to Pivot looks like he wants to go forward as the shield's going to fall for Jolted Bolts. The Coalescence is going to come out from Silver. In the corner now, T-Sen's going to be forced to use his Wraith form. Jolt's getting a bit over aggressive. He's very low, and they're going to trade Reinhardt's. The Tire from Sgt. Pepper is going to manage to find a kill here. The Tire now from the only player, from the only DPS alive. It's a Moira and a Junkrat versus a Moira and a Junkrat. It's a Moira going for the 1v2.
It's a Moira versus a Junkrat.
He could win this. The Moira might win the 1v2. The Riot's returning, so it's no longer 1v2, but he did get both kills. The Moira carrying there. As the symbol's gonna come out, T-Sen's gonna fall. They get carried by their Moira, and they're gonna
Silver Towels! That was 3 kills to secure the point there. That was a nice stall onto point though from MI6, however, that was a good free percentage there. Obviously they have a lot of ultimates on board because they didn't really use anything to contest the point. As I say that, they're gonna get stalled out a little bit of themselves. And now the sim pick might actually work for Antigran. Usually it's not too good trying to recontest point unless you're like Stevo, but you know. Nice rotation here, though.
Yes, you don't really see too many team fights take place here. But it looks like this is where the teams want to contest. The show gets broken just in time to allow the Shatter to hit 5 players. And he's gets 2. Wait, what is happening? He's got 2 kills there with the troll man. And Summer's starting to fight. He's going to get 2 kills. Are you? Where does Sgt. Pepper?
What the hell? Okay, so a lot of things just happened in that fight.
They're inside of the Graviton, and then the Coalescence from Silvertools manages to get 2 kills there and save his team.
So the bench actually ended up using 5 ultimates there, really only the Coalescence giving any amount of value. Everything else was completely worthless, and the beat was even cancelled. Oh no.
Oh, okay.
I saw that coming.
that fight happened.
Yeah, but anyways, I have no idea how Silvertools got that much value out of that. The previous fights, Coalescence, I can't believe he stalled out the point long enough and like actually technically won that fight. Granted, there was a quick recontest here, but the ult economy is basically reset, and now this.
The tire fight! He walked into the tire! Bad! He said walked into the tire there.
Oh my word. Beautiful
the
capitalization.
fight's over!
Yep. And
this is a mess!
We're getting into unfight territory.
Disaster. This is like this reminds me of watching Tiny Overwatch. It's just it's just a beautiful mess.
Now I would like to point out that Sgt. Pepper does have his rip tire once again, and he has been getting a good amount of value with this. We once again have one of these scrappy fights here in this little corridor.
The Shatter gets dropped. It's gonna hit 2 players. It actually forces out a beat there. And T-Set's gonna fall. Colas is gonna come out now, and it's just gonna cut through Jolts. The Shatter's gonna get dropped. It's not gonna hit any players. The Tires manage to take down Empty. Jolts and Pepper are gonna fall, so no Reinhardt for either team there. Travis gonna hit so many people.
Wait, the clock! They can't touch!
They only managed to get 1 player. Can anybody touch?
They can, okay.
Somebody managed to touch in the back. It looks like it was T-San. Cease's Tire's gonna get cancelled there, as they're gonna look to take down Jolts here as the Zarya versus the Reinhardt. Gag's gonna fall to Cease there in the corner as Jolts is gonna fall. It's just T-Set on the point now, and it's gonna fall.
No
and
way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bench have gotten their first map victory in League 0.
Okay, the first 2 maps were just God knows what. And this map had a lot of those moments too, but the bench looked significantly better, and MI6 looked just as sloppy. You know, I'm fully expecting MI6 to slowly warm up, especially if they feel like playing more Sombra, because they're probably going to put Drift in. This is... Oh, yeah, this is... What is this fight? Is this where he dies? Yep! Oh, no. Okay, now bear with me, folks, because I have a million and one different things to do here.
Okay,
the lobby, Jory.
That was a map that happened.
Yes.
It was a entertaining map. But it does end up actually going the way of the bench. So they're going to manage to get their first map victory on the season there against a team that I consider to be a fairly good team coming into this match. But, like I mentioned earlier, both of the match victories for MI6 have come in Game 5s. And they're just not really very good early on in these series. They really like to warm up into the series. And so don't count MI6 out quite yet. While it may look bad, especially the fashion that they lost that last round, they still should be the favorites to win this series.
Probably, yeah. Especially keep in mind that they were playing Sombra, they didn't have Drift in, and Drift has probably been one of the best Sombras in Intermediate thus far. So, yeah, I would get the feeling that if they want to play more Sombra throughout this series, which obviously that's the meta, Drift is probably going to come in, and he's going to be building MP significantly faster than Empty Grin has.
Yeah.
But, for now, the bench is up 1-0. Honestly, rather impressive.
Yeah, they managed to get the map victory. Of course, all 3 maps were very close. The first point, the only reason MI6 won is because T-San hard carried that first point there.
Oh, definitely.
Clutching up with the fort table off them. Pulling a Silver Tolls. Anytime somebody clutches up, that's what I'm going to call it.
A silver toss.
I'm going to call it a silver toss.
Honestly, I don't do the intermediate tier lists myself, but anyone who does intermediate tier lists, I feel like silver toss needs to be up there in flex supports if this continues throughout the series. Of course,
I don't even think it needs to continue throughout the series. It was a
just
1v.
one.
It was a 1v3 from Silver Tolls,
And then a 1v4
without the coalescence, and then another 1v3 with the coalescence. I mean, oh.
All right. So, of course, the bench are up 1-0 in the series, like I just said. MI6 got the map pick. They chose Hanamura, and the bench decide to defend once again. Or not once again, but you know what I mean. They're staying on the left side.
They decide to defend here. Not really a surprise. Most teams like to defend. And so, Hanamura is a very interesting map pick here from MI6. I wonder if we'll see any Pharah here. You could really run the Pharah. You could run like a Pharah Widow on the defense and get a fair amount of value out of it. But I wouldn't be surprised if on the attack we just see some more of this Shadow Dive, Shadow Brawl, whatever you want to call it. I call here's a for the viewers at home. Make it easier for everybody. If it has a Winston, call it Shadow Dive. If it has a Ryan, call it Shadow Brawl. They're both brawl comps, but it just makes it so much easier.
Alright, just gonna swap over the map on Hanamura, and then we are off.
Yeah, as we are getting ready to get into our second map of the series in this match in between MI6 and the bench. The bench, to most people's surprise, has a 1-0 lead here in the series. But don't count MI6 out. I would still favor MI6 for everybody at home. With your little League Zero intermediate wagers with your friends, make sure to bet on MI6 for this match.
Yeah, for the time being, they obviously are, what, 2-1, or... Yeah, 2-1 for the season, so they're obviously the favorites. But interestingly enough, no substitutes coming out. Like I was hyping up Drift, and they decided to keep Sergeant Pepper in. Now, he wasn't playing bad, but he certainly wasn't building up EMP as fast as we have seen Drift in the past. Maybe they've got less scrim time with Drift, or maybe this is just what they want to run, you know? Can't blame them for swapping things up. Maybe they're still confident. Who knows? But we don't exactly know what they're going to run quite yet. They are on offense, so they have a little bit more time to meme and spawn. I wouldn't be shocked to see the tanks swap up a little bit, as Monkey Orisa is not exactly the most common thing. Yeah, there we go. That looks more.
We're going to see Bay Reaper, though, on the defense. Not too surprised here. On Hanamura Point A, you can really get a lot of value out of this Mei wall. Because we're going to see the Shadow Dive from MI6. So, I'm not going to say I called it, but I called it.
Looks like MI6 is just trying to figure out which route they want to go. Probably a bit of scouting. But for the most part, it's going to be heading straight up towards the point itself.
Yes, the Mei wall comes out. Good job from Jolts to bait out the Mei wall. It's not going to catch anybody. Now they can just burst forward with what is probably the superior comp here. No kills, though, from either side. And so when you play this slow, it gives Cease time to build up another Mei wall. As Jolts is going to fall immediately, just gets burnt down. Remy runs out of defense matrix, and so his main tank falls. And that's basically a fight win.
Okay, no, okay.
Yeah,
I was spectating Pivot for a second. He was walking into a wall, so I was like, are they gonna need a pause? But he seems to be okay.
That was interesting.
He seems to be okay for now. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but yeah, Jolt's kind of just like stood in the choke there, like he is right now. He seems to be trying to bait out the Mei wall, which he did.
They managed to get it out.
Oh, you messed up the jump!
Jump! Okay,
forced out Primal.
He can bail himself out with the Primal. So Marto is gonna pop the Coalescence here, so they're gonna push forward onto the point. The Coalescence is now gonna come out from Silver Tolls. No kills yet from either side, but as soon as I say that, Gag and the Zarya are gonna fall as the Grav doesn't really find too much value. Jolt's Books is going to fall, which is a huge loss, but Pivot's going to fall as well, so no main take for either side. C-Set's going to fall as Empty is absolutely carrying this fight now with the 3 kills here to hold the point for his team.
Honestly, I do have to give a little bit of credit here, and I didn't get the chance to highlight Seriator on the Zarya and Diva on DJing, and now here. He's been doing a really good job of putting in a lot of damage and being that more like assassin type off tank, where he's just putting in a ton of damage and forcing... Oh. You there, Joe?
Oh. My internet cut out and it kicked me from Overwatch.
Alright, well, we do have a lot of ultimates coming out. Give me 1 second here, Joe. I'll wait between the next fights. But it does look like the bench will be coming in with the favorites in this fight. However, both Maniacs are now down, and MI6 are rather low here, so they're going to have to be backing up. But Cease is actually caught out, and will give the advantage to MI6 on the attack here. Yep, Seriator does fall, and now it's just a few final stalls. Both Coalescences coming out. Not sure about Silvertals. He has had a lot of success with these Coalescences in the past, but this isn't Lijiang anymore, and sure enough, everyone's dead besides him. And I'm not sure how long he can survive a 1v6. He's going to run down the clock a little bit, but other than that... Okay, let's get you back in, Joe. And anyways, we do have MI6 taking that point with about a minute left. They didn't use too many ultimates, so they still have about 3 left.
He's on the soldier.
Yeah, he swapped over to try and stall, and it looks like he's going to be sticking on it. However, this is the new soldier changes as well, so the spread
They're just going to run down mid.
Yep. Well, they almost got
nearly got the tick for free. As Sergeant Pepper's going to have the EMP, but Panera's going to dodge it.
Remy!
He managed to get the speed off, but that can't stop a nuke. Remy fights 3 kills, and this may just be a second point capture here.
Cease has to recontest, but he can't!
He can't touch! And a nuclear bomb is better than a DJ. Who would have guessed? And MI6 is just going to be able to cap up on Amura.
That was a pretty big snowball, but it makes a lot of sense after they took first point with so few ultimates, and they had like, what, 3 coming up on 4 going into this second point. So, a lot of snowball potential there. Really good time bank. This is the MI6 that I think people were expecting to see. Despite the struggles on first point, but then again, that's just first point hold Hanamura for you. Be interested to see what MI6 decide to run on defense here, as I'm not particularly sure if either of their DPS are comfortable running a Pharah. Obviously, that's rather possible here. Now it looks like they're going to be sticking to the Mei as well. Interesting. I really haven't seen that in the current meta up until right now, so I guess they liked it enough.
Well, the Mei is good on the defense.
Oh, absolutely. However, it's just not really in the normal meta, so, you know, usually teams will try to make the standard meta work.
Yeah, I feel like from the games I've watched of Hanamura in the current meta, Mei feels a lot like Sim does on Lijiang, where you can run her on this specific map, but that's about it. Because on Hanamura, it's a lot like Paris. You have this one tight choke. Of course, you do have the window, but not everybody could fit through that window. Or get up there, even. So.
Yeah, and sure enough, we do have... I like this positioning from Sergeant Pepper here. Nice wall.
Good wall, but Pivot, just going to jump away from it. Remy's going to get hacked up, but the freeze on the Pivot's going to keep it from getting much value. Cease on the off angle. As Pivot just gets taken down, Remy's going to get DMAC. Just Cease is soon to follow here. So they're just all going to fall as Remy is going to get back into the mech now. So a decent fight win.
Yeah, that was honestly a pretty clean fight there. Obviously, Remy probably didn't want to. Oh, they're staggering Syria. Yeah, they are.
Oh, that's...
And they boop him off, I think? Nope, they just... I think they booped him back on the play. But nice stagger there. It'll kill a little bit of time, which obviously they need to do.
Yeah, that's like killed around 30 seconds there, so... Nice, good job there. Good stall there from MI6.
No real ultimates coming up aside from the Moira Coalescences, so I expect to see those and not much else for the time being. Jolt's actually coming up on a Shatter. I'm not sure if he'll want to use it right here or wait for the fight to come onto the point itself. Early wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
the damage wall, anybody off? Shatter gets dropped right before the Winston bubble. It's going to hit up 3 players. The Coalescences there to allow Jolt to charge in the battle. He's going to take down Pivot and Empty is soon to follow there. Nice play there from Jolts to manage to get his team the fight.
Yeah, nice pickup on the opening. If he had waited even a brief moment later, he actually would have shattered a monkey bubble, so that was good timing on his part. Now we actually do have some ultimates coming online. A lot for the bench. pretty much everything coming up soon, aside from the Coalescence, which was just used. However, you do have the 2 DPS ultimates on the side of MI6, which I'd expect at least one of them to come out.
They were so fast.
That was
They
a really
just
nice
speed
rotation.
through the choke, just dodge the Mei wall as a whole there, as they're just getting caught in this small room against the Mei Reaper. That's not where you want to be. Jolts is going to get 3 kills there, and a bit of a positional mistake from MI6 and a great capitalization from the bench.
Other way
I mean,
around.
no, wait, the other way around.
Yeah, that was honestly really weird. It was a really clean rotation from the bench, but like once they got to the bottom of the stairs, they just stood there and tried to take the fight inside a building against a Mei Reaper, which, as you already said, is not exactly what you want to be doing, because they have the close range advantage. It's not like they really have any other range besides close range.
All their ults as well.
Now you do
They're going
actually
to
have
6 ults soon.
Empty looking for an EMP here. He does try to look for Gag. I would hope he sees him. He's not going to hack? Okay, well Gag's going to get the beat off.
Not going to hack him. It's going to hit 3 people as the Blossom's there to follow up. No kills immediately, but Jolt is soon to follow. The Mayo's not going to find any kills, but that Diva Bomb sure will. Pivot's going to fall to the counter bomb from Remy, but I don't think it'll matter, as they're going to finally manage to cap point A here with 60 seconds left.
Just about, yeah. Probably 10-15 seconds slower than MI6 there, but once again they have a few ultimates that they can use to snowball. Not the greatest snowball, you know, they don't have any DPS ults, but they do have the primal to knock people off point. They of course have the support ults to sustain a little bit longer, so it really depends on how they play this. It's possible, but they might need an extra fight or so.
You see, they're just trying to take this high ground away from MI6. A good Maywall is gonna shut the Diva off from the rest of the team. Shatter gets blocked by a Winston bubble. Good job there, so no kills coming out from either side, but Cease's gonna fall there from the Coalescence as the Blossom gets shots in the back and doesn't find any kills. But this one kill should be enough to double the fight. T-Sin gets caught out of position, but that's gonna be it. One pick there from, if you can get 1 kill while the defense, the fight's basically over.
Interesting that they're coming over to point.
They
actually get a free tick.
They get a free tick. I didn't even realize.
They had 3 people on point.
On the point, we're just gonna have an immediate fight that's gonna end in around 15 seconds or so, as everybody's gonna fall. Remy picks up 2 kills there, as he's just gonna set himself off the edge.
Silvertall's getting a little bit staggered. Now, the bench actually do have their DPS ultimates coming up. In particular, of course, they are running the meta, so that's going to be the EMP Death Blossom. And Gag actually does not have his beat quite yet, probably because of how quick and awkward these fights have been. So they do have a pretty good opportunity here to clear off the defenders. But they have to play it correctly, and in particular, they have to watch out for Remy's bomb, because that's going to be the counter here, as long as he doesn't get EMP'd.
Yeah, as the bomb's going to throw it early, as the EMP is going to come out from the other side. One player's going to fall, as Cease is going to drop the Blossom and manage to get 2 kills. Sergeant Pepper's going to drop the Blizzard on point, as Remy managed to take down Cease there. Silvertolls is going to drop the Coalescence, as Hamarto gets hacked out of his own. That's a huge hack there, as 4 players have returned to the point. However, from MI6, this may be enough. The bomb on point is not going to find any kills.
Odd bomb. This fight was lost. I would have just died and taken the stagger.
Yeah.
Cease actually comes back with the tracer, but it's not going to matter.
Yes, this is looking very dire now for the bench, as they're going to need to cap with time if they want a chance at another attack.
I don't know if they can take it this fight, and this fight might be all that they get. As, I mean, look at the ult disadvantage they're at right now. They really only have the Primal coming up. Panera might come up on the beat soon enough, but Gag already has it. Deason already has his Death Blossom. Sergeant Pepper swapping back to the Sombra from the Mei, I think it was. So,
yeah, he was on the Mei.
I just don't know if Bench can get any more than this 1 tick here. It really depends on how they play it.
They need a huge individual play if they want to really do anything. As the Blossom's very strange. It managed to take down Empty, which is a huge loss, as the Diva's going to get hacked up and taken down. And this looks like it may be it here. Cease manages to get a kill onto T-Sen, as Panera's going to drop his B. The pulse bomb onto Jolts. It's going to manage to take him down. The Diva bomb on point is not going to find any kills, as it's going to manage to rematch. on point now as we're nearing overtime. Sergeant Pepper's gonna fall to empty as he has just returned the fight. The Shatter's gonna hit 2 players. It's gonna cancel Silver Coal's Coalescence. 2 players are gonna get taken down here from Jolts and Bolts. Make that 3, and that's gonna be it. Map 2, as soon as they can clean off these last remaining players, is gonna go the way of MI6.
Yeah, that looks a lot more clean. The bench there just didn't have enough momentum, really. They didn't use their ultimates quite correctly. They kind of had a weird take overall. Let me update the thing.
Yeah, so that was a very good map from MI6. Definitely much better than their first map. The first map was a lot more scrappy, and their focus fire looked off. MI6 just looked out of it. But here on the second map, MI6 really delivered here with some of these. They looked a bit more coordinated, and they weren't letting individuals go wild. There was a couple moments where that happened, but it didn't happen so often that it was enough to get the bench the map. As we are just waiting on our map pick here from the bench.
Yep, we get, let's see. Gotta type all this out. So the options are going to be Hollywood, Eichenwald, or Kings. Probably going to be Kings.
Scrimsrow. It always gets a... They should go wild. They should pick Eichenwald. They should pick Eichenwald and put Ceased on Widow.
I don't think I've seen Hollywood yet this season. I've seen Eichenwald a few times.
I've seen... No, there was one game where it got picked. I want to say it was like an advanced game where it got picked. It hasn't been picked in Inner, though.
Who is pinging me?
As the map pick,
Kings,
who would have guessed?
Sure enough.
Kings Row. So Kings Row will be our third map of the series. We're going to stay at least 4 here.
Yeah, we are guaranteed to see one of every type at the very least.
We could see 5 maps. Maybe even 6 if they draw Kings. Technically, Escort is drawable, but I don't think I've ever seen that happen in a league match before.
Yeah, I don't believe that's ever happened in League 0 at the very least.
Yeah, I'm thinking of some of the other amateur leagues I've been in. I can't really think of anything. I've had it happen, I think, 2 times to me in ranked before, but don't think it's ever happened during a match. As Kings Row here is going to allow... Kings Row may actually be kind of beneficial here for MI6. It'll allow Schultz to get some value out of the Reinhardt, which he used, I think, entirety of Hanamura. So, this map, while it is the bench's map pick, it could end up being beneficial for MI6.
Yeah, actually one interesting thing, comparing MI6 tonight compared to their previous games, I am noticing that Jolts and Bolts is starting, whereas usually Krayak is. And that might be because Jolts looks a lot better on the Reinhardt, whereas Krayak might be their Winston specialist, but they seem to be running a lot more Reinhardt right now. So, might just be their comfort pick within the meta. And they probably find success.
Jolts, if I'm not mistaken, has all except one of the points on Li Jiang has been playing the Reinhardt. It may have been 2. He's been playing the Reinhardt almost the entire series, though.
Yeah. And I mean,
there was 1 or 2 points where he wasn't, but...
You can definitely get away with it, especially on a map like Kings Row. There's basically no reason to run the Winston. Okay, MI6 are making my job easier. And,
they're going to choose the attack.
Yeah, they want to attack first. So...
It's a bit interesting.
Some teams like to deal with the momentum. So the bench will get the opportunity to bend first and set the win condition, or the continue condition if they let MI6 cap everything.
As we are just waiting on the readies from both sides, so we can hop into our third map here in between the bench and MI6 in the intermediate division of League 0.
Alright, and we are good to go. Series is all tied up.
Now entering King's Row.
This map will allow either MI6 to take the lead for the first time in this series, or for the bench to regain their lead that they just recently lost.
Yeah, the bench, of course, did take the first map here.
I'll be very interested to see what MI6 decide to run out with here on the offense. There's a lot of potential here for things that are not quite as meta. However, I don't really know if T-Sen has been playing much of anything besides the Reaper, so I'm not really expecting much else besides that. I'm not taking anything they're picking too seriously at the moment, as nothing besides Gag makes any sense in what we know them to play. The defense obviously looks a little bit more normal. May, another odd pick here, but I guess on the first point it does make a little bit of sense, depending how they play it. You could play a little bit further up immediately at the choke, and actually it looks like that's what they're going to be doing. Yeah, and sure enough, the swaps come out. So it's going to be more standard. T-Sen probably just going to be looking for an early pick, and then swapping over to the Reaper once he can't find anything.
Yes, he hasn't found a pick yet. He looks like he wants to stay on it.
At least for a little while. I think they were waiting to see where the bench was first.
Yeah, so it's switch. This is very aggressive. MI6 taking a 5v6 basically, as it's a decent
nice
May
wall.
wall, and May allow them to take down Jolts. It's very nice. That's a great opening pick, as T-Sen has just rejoined the fight. And this should just be a very fast fight win. This Gag falls
that's a
down.
nice
That's
stagger.
brutal. On the point, Sergeant Pepper trying to tick up.
They almost did too. They were kind of ignoring him for a little while.
Yeah, nearly got the tick, but they're gonna deny it.
Silvertall's already has that coalescence.
Already dead.
And Hamtaro got poked out. I think he got a icicle
Deleted.
to the face, and then Panera's spam just happened to finish him off.
Speaking of low, Sergeant Pepper is very low, but he's gonna grab the Mega. It's alright.
Remy as well does also have this Graviton, so they might try to open it up with that. I wouldn't be shocked to see Silvertalls use the Coalescence soon. Yep.
Yeah, so they're gonna grab. The Coalescence is gonna come out from Silvertall to keep everybody up, but Pivot's gonna fall. The Shatter's gonna hit 4 players. It's huge. As the Coalescence from Hamtaro may not have been needed, as they're just gonna cap first point.
Yeah, that was honestly pretty clean. I don't imagine the bench are going to bother to recontest. I think they were just trying to avoid getting staggered too hard there from Silvertalls. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to contest too far forward, so they're not going to be able to get this crucial choke point on the very beginning of the Streets phase. MI6 are going to be pushing up. Not too many ults on the board, at least for the offense. The bench has quite a few coming up online, so they definitely could hold for at least a little while longer. Cease does have that Blizzard. I imagine he wants to use it rather soon. However, Sergeant Pepper is looking for a good EMP.
Oh, he's gonna take it down, but he managed to get the Blizzard out in time. Jolts and Bolts is gonna fall. Hamtaro is soon to follow. Sergeant Pepper just kind of sat here on the high ground. Never used his EMP, as they're gonna get the fight win, but because of like where the card is, they're not able to stop the card.
Odd positioning there, poke out from Sergeant Peppers. I thought he was actually going to use his EMP when the rest of his team was nowhere in sight, but I think now they're going to be... Yep, there we go.
The EMP's gonna hit.
It canceled the shatter!
And it did... Bah! The Death Blossom gets 4 kills. Pivot gets canceled out of his shatter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I was gonna say how Panini got hit, so he couldn't use his sound barrier, but then T-Sen just killed everybody.
Well, he tends to do that, you know, the EMP Death Blossom is a strong combo for a reason. Early Coalescence coming out here from the bench.
Trying to get the ring contest, but the grab's gonna keep them from being able to do that. It's a massive grab to keep everybody off the point. The beat's gonna keep Empty's gonna drop the Blossom. He's gonna manage to find 2 kills there. It's huge plays coming out from the Reapers of both sides so far this series. They're gonna manage to hold technically at a second point.
You could have done that like 10 seconds sooner. It would have been incredible, but they'll just have to settle for stopping the momentum. However, MI6 do have such a huge amount of momentum right now with 4.5 minutes to push it to third point. That's very likely that we'll be seeing a full cap. Early grab.
Early grab. The pin comes through, but there's a bubble there to keep him out. Empty's gonna survive as Shatter just gets thrown out as Pivot got canceled out of his Shatter for the second time this map.
He actually built that second Shatter up pretty fast, but it didn't really matter in the end. Might as well have not built it up yet. And already, we do have really an anemic old board here. I mean, MI6 are coming up on a few things like the Death Blossom and the EMP, but that's not really going to be happening quite yet. So Silvertall's Coalescence that we're now seeing is really going to be the only thing on the board for the time being. MI6 are probably going to be playing a little bit more passive, especially with their Reinhardt falling.
Yeah. Jolts just gets shredded. He got brought so low from Silvertall's Coalescence here as it's just played up now. Pivot's going to pick up 2 kills here. Yeah, the Coalescence brought Jolts and Bolts so low. They're just able to finish him off there.
We do have another...
Right off the 1 kill.
We do have another EMP Death Blossom here for MI6. However, we also have the EMP Grav on the side of the bench, so I'm very curious to see who can get theirs out first off.
That's a very early EMP, but the counter EMP is going to come out. It's going to be bigger, but not before 2 players fall. Ethan! He's going to get 3 kills, make that 4, but they only have 3 players alive here. I
don't think they can touch.
Advantage. I don't know if they're going to be able to touch. They're not able to.
Oh, no.
Against to carry his team, and they're going to manage to cap King's Row.
In any other world, the second EMP there wouldn't have mattered because the bench just had such a huge advantage, but the fact that Sen got off as much value as he did on the Death Blossom is practically a crime, because if everyone just turned around and started shooting at him, even without any of their abilities, because they were EMP'd, they should have been able to kill him like that, so that was just a lack of target focus there from the bench. Good coordination from MI6, however. Good time bank. Honestly, really good time bank. Usually you see it closer to about a minute. The bench now have a goal in mind. They have to full cap, even stay alive in the series. And even at that, they need to cap it with time to be able to have another chance at winning this map and regaining their lead on MI6. Would be shocked to see this come out on the side of the offense, but it is a little bit weird being the Hanzo.
Yeah, it's just going to be the Shadow Brawl on the defense. On the Hanzo is runnable. If you can, the thing is against the Shadow Brawl, it's just who are you going to shoot?
Mostly the Reaper is who you kind of have to. You know, just punish him with a lot of poke damage all at once. However, this might also just be a quick check to see if they were holding up where the bench were on their defense. MP isn't really leaving spawn, but he is poking, so I'm not sure if he wants to stick on this or not.
I'm just going to switch over to the Reaper, I presume. As the hack is going to go onto T-Sin, he's going to be brought down to half. Looks like the bench want to push aggressive here, but the shield's going to pop for Pivot, and he's just going to fall. And that's just going to be a very fast fight win here, basically a 5v6 that entire time.
Both Zaryas are actually extremely high charge, and it's very good for the bench that Syria to get out of that alive, at least for the time being. It looks like Sergeant Pepper trying to get the exit kill there, but not quite. So they are coming in with a extremely high charge Zarya, which is a good way to start the fight.
Yeah, Syriator almost got brought down around 3 times there through this opening moments of their attack. Pivot's already hit. He's not allowed to play the video game. He just gets taken down so early in all of these fights. Syriator soon to follow. That's another very clean fight win there.
Yeah, it looks like the bench are just kind of building up their ultimates and banking on winning in the old phase of this match. However, in the meantime, MI6 haven't really needed to use their ultimates, so they're just banking up, like coming up on 6 essentially. So the bench are going to need to be able to get more value out of their fewer ults.
That's going to be a hack onto Jolts and Bolts. So it's going to force them back for now. It's going to allow Pivot to take a lot of space. Nicholas is going to come out from Hamtaro as the EMP gets dropped. The Shatter from Jolts and Bolts doesn't hit anything as the beats are going to come out from both sides. Ceases fallen very early on as T-Sin's going to drop the Blossom, get 2 kills, make that 3, and he clutches it up for his team there in a fight that was looking dire.
MI6 used 6 ultimates there. And
Well,
as you can see, the bench have 2. Probably because they were EMP and they didn't get the chance to use them, but they're going to have a massive advantage here. Well,
they
less
have
of an
one.
advantage. Because they kind of whipped the shot.
The shatter hits the shield as the Blossoms
Ooh.
actually find so much
Nice.
damage there. 3 kills, they only needed the 1 ult. As they're just going to be able to cap point A here off a huge play from Empty.
He's kidding.
Somehow.
I think that was just a really long range. Right click from Remy there. Found a nice kill there, but it doesn't really change much aside from MI6 being able to hold this choke point here, which is exactly what they want.
If it dies, the shatter gets dropped. They're-
Not sure about the shatter, but okay.
They were scared. They were scared Silvertolls was going to clutch it.
He's coming up on the coalescence.
Exactly.
But neither team really has any
They're going
ultimates
to
here.
spawn camp.
Ceased and Remy being the close to any ultimates here. Actually, Silvertall, of course, having the coalescence.
They're going to spawn camp them.
Yeah, I mean, they can for the time being. They do have the grab, but
They're going to leave.
yeah.
I want to see that.
Well, it
feel
wouldn't have worked
robbed.
very well. Ceased is coming up on the EMP.
But he's dead. So he's not going to get the chance to use it. He got hacked up and taken down here. They're going to still commit, though. The MP for Silvertolls is the grab's going to come out from Remy. The pit's going to come through and manage to take down Panera Panini, even though he hit pivot. They're going to manage to just clean up this fight. Now it's T-Sin's going to get 2 kills there in a very fast and clean fight for MI6.
Yeah, however, they're not going to have very long to regain their cooldowns, to regain their resources. I noticed Hamtaro there was a little bit low in his healing resource. Because the bench are right there. If they're smart, they're just going to push back in and probably, ideally, EMP and just go with it. You know, there really is no excuse to lose this fight. Empty Grin.
Oh, that's a nice shatter. The Coalesce is going to come out on top of it.
He's
It's going
got
to allow them to
canceled.
get to make that 3 kills. Jolts and Bolts is dead, however, but it's not going to matter as the rest of the bench have fallen.
Ceased got cancelled out of EMP. I don't understand how that happens. The cart
Wait,
has now... Yeah, he did.
Did he get killed out of it?
Yep. The cart...
Ha!
The cart moved back so far that it touched the garage door, by the way, so it was waiting a while. It's gonna be... The bench are gonna be hard-pressed here to cap second point at all, let alone in overtime, so... This is gonna be one heck of a fight here as the fight is now taking place in this choke point.
As
Yeah.
T-Sin's just going to carry his team to a victory here. The EMP Blossom's going to get 2 kills. I like this Somber Reaper meta. This is a pretty nice meta. Can we just like keep it forever?
Well, we're back to spawn camping here, and the bench do have ultimates, but they're just not using them.
They should actually spawn camp them.
I mean, they essentially are. They're about 20 meters away from the spawn. I don't know how much closer you
Oh,
can
it's
get.
going to come out. It's going to allow him just to push forward here. Nice pin. They're going to allow him to take down Hamtaro. The Shatter is going to hit the wall. And so will Panera Panini, as all the players are falling down for the bench as they look lost. As,
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. They
kills,
looked
it's not
at
gonna
least
matter.
decent right up until this hold. I mean, they just look toothless, in all honesty. They have the resources necessary to actually push forward here, but they're just not capitalizing on it. They're pussyfooting around. I don't know how else to put it. They're the only reason they're gaining ground here is because MI6 is allowing them. They're backing up.
Yeah, think they lost the play. I think they lost their Reinhardt, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That was a whoever it was a very crucial part, and so it forces them to pull back here. And Jones is gonna get hacked up. Empty's gonna get
no.
hacked out of his out of his Blossom as Sergeant's gonna hit everybody. The beat comes out from both sides, but MI6 are gonna hold here. 15 seconds left for the bench to do something.
I think part of it has to be that the bench just aren't ultra hacking because they have to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, the EMP Coalesce is going to come out as T-San's going to drop his Blossom. Managed to get 1 kill, but Silvertolls is going to get the kill onto T-San. Speaking of Silvertolls, he's going to get hacked up as Pivot's going to fall, and this looks like it's going to be all she wrote here for King's Row. It's only Silvertolls left. He's clutched up twice, but he's not going to manage to win a 1v5. And that's going to be it. Map 3 goes the way of MI6.
Yeah, not really too much to say there other than the bench just played really bad. Like, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it wasn't pretty after they took first point.
Yeah.
MI6 do go up 2-1 in the series, the first time going up this series.
Yeah. Speaking of up in the series, Mob Mentality over on the main channel is very close to finishing off Double Cap. It's not over yet, but they're nearing the end of Hollywood. As Mob Mentality over there do have a 2-0 lead.
So we are moving over to Escort.
Yeah, Escort will be the map type. Very interesting map decision. Very crucial map decision for the bench. They need to get this map win if they want to stay alive. Well, technically they could draw, but like, you know.
Yeah, good luck with
technically they don't get the map win. But
okay.
They need to do something huge here.
We are going to Dorado, which I haven't seen too much of. I feel like I've seen more Gibraltar and Rialto in particular. So at the very least, we have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
As for what they could be running, probably the dive variants. I wouldn't be shocked to see Craig subbed in. He definitely seems to be the person on MI6 with more hours on Winston. But who knows, maybe Joel just happens to have not played Winston recently. Actually, I don't see Craig in the lobby anymore, so who knows.
Yeah, as Mob Mentality have finally finished off Double Cap, so that series has just ended.
Alright, well, pretty much just waiting on MI6 to give us the side. I wouldn't be shocked to see them.
Yeah, so our map will be Dorado. Our series is the bench versus MI6. And MI6 here, after map 1, have looked much better. But don't count the bench out. In some alternate universe, they managed to clutch this up. It's not quite over yet.
So we have about 2.5 minutes left, as you can see on screen. The timer is very convenient, but the teams can't see it. I gotta tell them. But yeah, we're just waiting on MI6 to give either the ready or if they want to swap over to defense, they can let me know that. But otherwise, we're just chilling. We're waiting. Teams can take their time.
Yeah. As we are, the series has been pretty okay so far. Map 1 was fairly decent. But map 2 and 3 were definitely a lot more in favor of MI6.
Alright, well, we got about 1.5 minutes left. I don't imagine MI6 are going to want to defend. They seem to like to attack.
Yeah, MI6, one of the few teams I've seen who prefer to attack.
So we are going off to Dorado.
Dorado, our map here. Wonder if either team are gonna run the Widowmaker. Widow is
I don't know if either of these teams have a Widowmaker currently in. A player who's known for their Widowmaker, you know? Yeah. I've seen decent on it occasionally. I don't know if Empty Grin can play the Widow confidently. Although I wouldn't be shocked to see an Ashe here. Wait, are they actually running out on this? They're on defense, so...
May Reaper on the defense.
But not only Mei Reaper, they're swapping who's playing Mei and Reaper compared to what they have done in the past. So maybe they're panicking a little bit and trying just anything.
Or maybe they empties. Maybe okay. So here's my fancy analysis. Ceased has the better timed Mei walls. Empty hits right clicks better.
Maybe we'll have to see.
They're just gonna crouch out here in the corner.
Are MI6? No, they're not. Okay, I was gonna say, are they actually gonna? They're not going to. Okay, so I do actually like the Mei pick now if they're gonna be holding close like this because this is giving them an extra.
Yeah,
like,
they're
nice
just gonna,
wall.
Yeah, but he's just able to jump up and wait for the wall to break. And this should just be a fight win, honestly, for MI6 here. They're not able to find any kills, however. As soon as I say that, main tanks will be traded off for both sides. Curator's going to get hacked up and taken down. And nice try, bench. The bench go again, as they're just going to get rolled over here on the first fight. It is this really tight hold. It still allows them to hold actually where most teams want to hold it. Silvertoll's going to commit the Coalescence. I was talking about how this
really
fight
committing.
They're going to commit the Blossom. They actually managed to get a kill off the back of it. Pivot's returning to the fight now. Cease is going to get 2 kills. Hamtaro's going to manage to take him down, though, as Empty is soon to follow. The Reinhardt...
They've taken a minute.
Yeah, Pivot is back now, as they've taken off a minute off this clock at this very awkward place to hold. As Pivot's going to fall for the second time this map. Curator's going to get demacked, and it looks like finally... Okay, they're all dead now.
That was a beautiful hold. I mean, that wasted so much time, and the card didn't even move an inch. They are going to have another clean fight on the defense, so that was beautiful. Of course, they did utilize some ultimates there, but I mean, like, why the hell not? Although I am shocked to see them stick on this Mei. I guess they're getting close enough to the Blizzard, but it's going to be getting significantly less value the further this card pushes. Whereas the offense does have a lot of ults of their own, because obviously the feeding and just trying to stall the clock out gave them a lot of ult charge. So expect an EMP Death Blossom.
It's going to hit everybody! And the Blossom lights up the kill feed. Great EMP from Sergeant Pepper to hit all 6 players, and the Blossom from T-Sin's just going to clean everything up now. As Silvertolls is going to try to exit with his life, and it looks like he should be able to.
Yeah, he has enough health where he'll get out. That was a very good EMP from Sergeant Pepper, but also I want to give some of the, quote, credit to the bench there, because they just kind of stood in a group when they should have known that by that point. Oh, okay, wait a second.
Nice shatter for Pivot. It's going to manage to allow them to take down T-Sin. Nobody else has fallen yet. However, as soon as they say that, Johnson Bolt is going to die. Mid Primal Rage. The Diva Bomb from Remy's not going to find anything this time. Cease is going to drop the Blossom in the back and manage to get 2 kills. Hamtaro soon to follow. Not sure if you catched it, but Empty managed to get a hack onto Remy, which means he couldn't remake in Defense Matrix the Blossom.
Now, actually, the ult economy is pretty even there. It looks like MI6 tried to use a lot of their ults to get past that fight. And this is actually a pretty good place to hold, however, as I say that MI6 are pushing
Did he get taken down low? Was it like a remake bomb that he's not even going to be able to remake? That was the strangest bomb, and that is the strangest beat I have ever seen.
Okay, yeah, so I think what happened there is the bench... How's to put this? Okay, I'm gonna quote Nivino for a second. The bench are playing like pussies right now, so the problem is they literally just backed up and allowed MI6 to push forward through the choke point that the bench wanted to hold there, right beyond the attacker's spawn on second point. So they kind of panicked and started ulting there, and I think that's what those ults were, and they just kind of died because you're backing up. You're giving space when you don't really need to give space.
Speaking of giving space, they try to deny the space given, and that's a nice shatter. It's going to hit 4 players here, so the DMAX is going to come through on the Curator. Silvertoll is going to pop the Coalescence with that pin from Jolson. Volts is going to take it down. Pin from Narnia. And they have 4 minutes to cap point C.
And they I don't think they used throughout the entire second point push their Diva Bomb, their Death Blossom, or their EMP, because they've just had those 3 forever. If they did, it must have been very early on, and they managed to take it with like a Shatter, a Coalescence, and maybe a beat.
Yeah, they've switched. Yeah, they've used the EMP and Blossom here. Speaking of EMP, the EMP is going to come out from empty, but Gag's going to have to beat to keep everybody up for now. The EMP comes out, and it's going to hit everybody except C's, who has his Blossom there. He's going to manage to get 2 kills off the back of it. Joltabolt is going to take down Panera, as the bomb's going to get thrown up from Remy. It's not going to find any kills, because Hamtaro's taking them all down now, as he's found 2 kills with that Coalescence. Nobody else has fallen yet, as the bomb's going to get thrown up from Curator, and it's going to manage to get a kill in a DMAC. That's actually a massive bomb. Vivid is going to fall Sergeant Pepper now, as there's 4, make that 5 people on the point for MI6, as everybody is returning from spawn. He got killed. That was the worst block I have ever seen, as Remy's going to get taken out from Silvertoe's Coalescence. What a shit show we are witnessing here on Dorado.
MI6 are making a really bad mistake of staggering in here, and it killed probably an extra 30 seconds on top of the minute that, you know, the lost fight took up. And they really didn't need to do that. They could have just, you know, reset, but I feel like they're getting a little bit overzealous here, or confident, you know, because the bench, they're not playing good. So you can get away with some stuff, but you can't get away with murder. You know, you kind of have to play the game correctly still.
On the cart now is MI6. They're just going to try to push around this corner here, which can be a very nice place to hold, as the Shatter's going to hit Pivot's shield, but he's going to fall. And Ceased is soon to follow here, as this is a absolute roll here from MI6 when they're not trying to win a 3v6. I mean...
yeah, pretty much. However, the bench do still have a few ultimates to defend, so I'd expect this to last a little while.
Nice Shatter!
Oh, no.
It's going to hit 3 players. Oh my word, Ceased is gonna drop the Blossom on top, finds 3 kills, as the Shatter from Pivot's gonna help his team get the fight win, and they're gonna be holding here right outside of 3rd.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to point out there in particular, it wasn't necessarily a bad play, but it's not the optimal play, where, like, Ceased waited a few seconds, basically till everyone was just getting up from the Shatter to actually use his Death Blossom, despite the fact that he had it, and I think that's a good example of the bench playing very slow here, slower than they need to. It's fine to commit 2 ultimates to a fight, especially if it means that you can win, especially when everyone's on their backs from a Shatter. You know, so, like, I would have liked to see a little bit more gusto from the bench there.
Speaking of gusto, that's a great EMP. It's going to hit up everybody, as the bomb's going to get dropped from Curator. It's going to manage to take down Jolt. That's a fight win.
So the bomb there was just really weird. What happened is he bombed on the edge just to get his mech back, and it was enough over the edge that Jolt was just under the bridge. And he had his shield up, but it wasn't facing the bomb, so he got killed by it. So that was, he's probably wondering what the hell happened there, and that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, as they're gonna have some ults though, both sides.
Yeah, I'd have to expect that MI6 are going to be getting the better of this fight, as they do have EMP bomb. They're gonna have the Blossom to finish out the fight.
Yeah,
Just need to play it correctly.
As Pivot's just kind of isolated on the court, but he drops the Shatter. He hits 3 people going for his head, but the beat's gonna come out from Gag to keep everybody up from now. The bomb's gonna throw it up for Remy, and there's the EMP.
Yep.
Beautifully timed. 2 players are going to fall from it. The Blossom from T-Sin doesn't find any kills, as Remy's going to pick up a 3rd kill there on the Silvertals. Hamtaro's going to manage to find a kill as well, as it's just the Diva on the cart now. Curator's going to get DMAC'd and taken down. The Shatter's going to try to keep everybody from touching, as it's a solo Shatter on the Pivot. Empty is going to touch, however, on the Sombra before getting taken down. Silvertoes is going to contest both supports on the cart now, as they're both going to fall as well. And that's going to be it. They're going to cap Dorado in overtime.
I honestly would have liked to see, once they were in the stall mode, Ceased or Empty swap over to things like Doomfist or May, possibly. You know, things that can either get immediate picks, a one-shot kills, or possibly things that can just stall as long as possible to allow people who have one-shot combos to get back to point, because they just kind of like stayed on meta, and it's not like they had ultimates or anything, so they could have played that defense a little bit better, because they did a really good job stalling, but they weren't doing much else other than running down the clock that was already run down as far as it could go. That being said, I do think MI6 made a slight mistake there when they invested they did the EMP bomb, and that was good. And I think T-Sun got his Death Blossom like right as those 2 ults were going off, and he used it basically immediately. I think he was trying to get value out of the EMP as well. but it probably would have been better. They could have possibly even capped with time if he had saved his Death Blossom until...
I think he actually used his Blossom. Like, you're right about the timing, but I think it was like 3 seconds left. So, I don't think him saving his Blossom would allow them to cap with time.
Yeah, I forget exactly how far down the clock was, but I know for a fact it would have saved them a little bit of time, whether it be in overtime or not, to actually save it. You know, even if the EMP had worn off, they could just focus down the D.Va.
Yeah. As they're gonna hold close, MI6 is doing exactly what Bench did. And so far, there no kills are coming out from either side. As Remy's gonna move off Panera, but two players are involved.
This isn't gonna work as well without the Mei, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But it's like Panera's gonna come back instantly. He's already back, and MI6 wasted 10 seconds, if that.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter because now they get to hold where they actually want to hold. Because holding on this bridge up top here, you're usually just get rolled anyways.
Yeah, so we are going to have an aggressive offense here, actually, as basically the entirety of the front line of the bench is pushed up. However, they get pretty low. I don't think the healers are ready for that.
Yeah, the Coalescence is going to come out from Silvertals. It's going to push everybody back, and it's going to allow him to get a D-Mech onto Remy. Pivot's going to fall as well as the Blossom. He's 5 kills!
Give him the 6k! Panera denies the 6k.
The 6k is going to do it for his team, as they're going to cap point A.
Wow, yeah, okay. They did that with like 3 ultimates as well. Granted, I don't think Panera used the beat. I think he just hasn't had the chance to build it up because he's been dying early a lot.
No, he hasn't had a beat yet.
Yeah, all ceased. You can't die to a monkey like that.
Yeah, died to lose.
Well, that was the final blow. The monkey did most of the damage there.
And this fight looks over, especially with MT going down, Curator getting demeched.
And this is exactly where the bench wanted to hold, when they just decided to back up for some godforsaken reason. So let's see if MI6 actually have the gall to hold where they should. As I say that, they have 6 ultimates as well, so, well, 5.
Yeah, the Coalescence is gonna do...
It's a zoning coal.
As, I think my game has crashed. This has been a great day for Overwatch for me.
Yep, you left the game. Alright, so I'll be doing a little bit of color casting. Nice EMP coming in from Sgt. Pepper, and the Death Blossom comes in from T-Sen. Won't really find any final blows, but it does chip down the majority of the bench and allows the team to get picks. T-Sen getting a few of those final blows outside of his ultimate. Let me know when you're back in game, Joe Razor, and I'll back in. But in the meantime, that was a nice, clean win for MI6, really only using their DPS ultimates. They should be able to hold a little while longer with just their tank ults or just their beat or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, on the high ground now, Primal Rage's gonna get popped. It's gonna knock both tanks off the high ground, so decent Primal Rage here from Pivot, as the bomb from Remy's gonna actually take down the support line. That's a huge play is coming out from MI6's off-take, as they're just gonna hold the car and they're gonna get should get an ice dagger onto the baby D.Va, but he killed T-Sen. So,
I love it when people underestimate the baby D.Va's damage output. But yeah, that was actually really good bomb placement from Remy. I happened to catch it on the stream, so the audience will be able to see how nice of placement it was. But it was essentially right on top of the wall that the car is now right next to, so there was no real place to hide unless you were pretty far back or far forward. That was good placement from Remy there. Really winning the fight with just a singular ult.
As Curator's gonna manage to push them off the high ground, as the EMP Blossom comes through, T-Sen's gonna find 3 kills, make that 4, and basically a 5th kill. The D-Mech, technically not a kill, but
you know, I really don't know what is the problem with the bench. But Panera is just not hiding. They have to be expecting these EMPs. Like, it's not being charged ridiculously fast. It shouldn't be that much of a surprise, and yet he has beat he just lets
On the
himself get
first two
into-
maps, he was doing a pretty decent job of dodging these EMPs there, but on map 3 and 4, he's kind of just sat with the rest of his team. As the Blossom's going to come out from C's, but the Blossom's there to counter, the Beat is there to counter it. Beat also comes out from Panera, as they're just going to push forward now, as Jolt is going to pop the Primal Rage. No kills yet for either side here, but Jolt is caught in an awkward position. So is Pivot, but he's going to have his Primal Rage. Demon Bombs come out from both sides. His Curator's going to find one, but Remy manages to find 2 kills off the back of it. Pivot's going to take down Tieson. So it's a 2-for-2 trade so far here. The Colossus is going to come out from Himtaro, as Gag's going to fall, but Seeks is soon to fall as well. Himtaro is going to find 2 kills there, as it's just the 2 remaining players now for the bench. Make that 3 as Panera has just rejoined the fight. The Colossus is going to come out from Silver Trolls, but Pivot's going to go down, and that's a bit of a waste of a Coalescence, as this looks like they're finally going to stabilize here with a minute left.
I don't know if there's enough planning on the bench to actually do what they want to do, especially considering they have 60 seconds remaining and the MP Blossom is coming back up for MI6. So expect to see that in the next couple seconds here as they're 2% away from the Death Blossom. Second half of what they want. Yep, there it is.
Nice EMP! It's going to hit up 6P, but it's going to allow Tisa to drop the Blossom as a bench. Bench look out of it.
Yeah, they kind of look resigned to yet another loss, despite the fact that if they had just cleaned up their play a little bit from the first map, they could have ridden on their momentum and definitely had a chance. They still have a chance. It's not over yet. They have the MP Blossom of their own coming up. They're going to need to do something about Gag. Either act quickly enough so that he can't build up beat, or, well, realistically, just find him, hack him, and win. that's what you do. MT has not done a great job of making sure Gag's out of the EMP, but he actually does get him there.
Yeah, it's a great EMP. Gag didn't even have to beat until just now here, as they're going to get the kill on Season and the DMAC onto Remy. Curator's going to get DMAC as the Primal Rage is going to come out from both sides, as the hack on the Silver Trolls is going to keep him from using his Fade. Panera Panini is going to fall, as the bump they're thrown on the point from Remy. No kills off the back of it. The Colossus is coming out now from Silver Trolls. He built that one damn fast. He's on the point now. Empty's going to fall, but Jolts and Bolts is going to get traded out. T-Sid's going to manage to take down Seized as well. So this is looking very good here for MI6, especially with the kill on the Curator. And the beat's going to come out, but the EMP is there. So the players that the beat did hit are just going to get the beat taken away from them. They're going to manage to contest for a little bit longer, but I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, that's it.
And MI6 are going to take the series 3-1 here over the bench.
Whew. That's, that got a little bit painful there at the end. Unfortunate.
Yeah, the bench, once again, not really the best performance coming out from them. They've had some nice moments, but map 1 was really their high point. And I feel like the bench weren't playing worse throughout the series. I think MI6 just played better.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think the bench necessarily upped their game or, like, lowered their game from Lijiang onwards. It was just like MI6, like I said, they ramp up over the course of the series. That's something they're going to have to work on because they just gave the bench their first map win of the season, which is not exactly what you want to be doing. You want to be taking those a little bit more convincingly.
Yeah, you don't want to be known as the team to give the bench their first series win, but they're not that team. It was only a map, luckily.
Yep, and of course, MI6 gets to choose who they want for the interview. Looks, Remy? Yeah, it looks like Remy. Set that up. Okay. Let me find him.
Yeah. As a nice series win there for MI6. Managed to take the win.
Okay, here comes Remy. He might be server muted at first. Yes, he's server muted. Okay, should be good. Well, welcome, Remy. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Rather interesting series there. So you want to talk about the elephant in the room and what happened with Lijiang Tower there?
I think so. Our biggest problem is that we get overconfident. So we were so confident that we were going to destroy the bench that we kind of went into map 1 thinking we were going to insta win, and they were a lot better than we expected. But then we managed to bring it back in the last 3 maps.
All right. I believe I said that on the cast as well, that you guys looked overconfident, so that makes sense. Joe, do you have any questions, or you want me to keep going?
I've said this numerous times. I suck at interviews.
Fair. All right. So, who in particular would you say on? Actually, no, I have a better question. So, in past weeks, you've played Krayek on the main tank, and this week it seems like you're playing Jolts the whole time. Was that just because he had more scrim time? Is that because he fits better with the team, or just like fit better with the comps that you want to run?
This past week we've run more Pepper and Jolts. To be honest, I don't really know why. Like the coach haven't explained why. They just came in out of nowhere. But like they're really good. They've always been working out hard, even from the bench. So, yeah.
All right. And going back to the other question I got, and that's the last question I'll have for you if Joe doesn't have anything. But who would you say is like the main shot caller for your team? Because obviously you subbed a few people in and out compared to previous weeks.
Jolts.
Jolts?
Yeah, Jolts is very loud. But Pepper sometimes gets really loud if you hack someone. He'll scream really loud.
Well, I guess that's what you want your Sombra to do.
Yeah, he's really good.
All right. Well, that's all the questions I've got for you, Joe. If you don't have anything.
Yeah, I think you summed it up well.
All right. So, do you have any closing statements, any trash talk, or any shout outs you wanna give Remy?
I just want to say that I'm bringing Sev to Brazil. That's all I want to say.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to do this interview. We'll let you get back to your team and enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Well, that was an interesting series. MI6 really needs to warm up or something before their games, because this is like the first time they're not going to a map 5 for a win, and the first map looks sloppy, so I guess coaches get on that, because they're quite obviously a good team. They just are a little bit slow out of the gates.
Yeah.
But anyways, hope you all enjoyed this. I don't know if any other games are going on. I believe the Mob Mentality one is finished. I see Casting Booth 1. Which game is that? That's Content Credence versus Capitalism?
Yeah. That match appears to still be going on.
Obviously, the other game outside of that is... oh, well, it's not being streamed, but I do have a score for you. Guangzhou beats Obligation 3-0, so that's that. so go watch Capitalism and Content Credence. I have no idea what the score is. Actually, looking at it, it looks like Content Credence is up 2-1, but Capitalism did take the most recent map. So there is...
reverse sweep.
Yeah, there is some potential there for a reverse sweep. It looks like Capitalism is not out of it quite yet, so go check that out. Yeah, that's all I've got. Thank you, Joe, for taking most of the casting off of my hands.
It's always a pleasure.
And that's all we've got, so see ya.